Well, keep this for posterity because this won't happen again for another 4 years. It's Monday, February 29th, 2012. That's right. It's February 29th. This only occurs once every 4 years in a leap year. Yay! So now that we have that excitement out of the way, we can begin Comments X. Well, just in about a day or so, one day, tomorrow, we'll start our 3rd month here. It's been eventful, enjoyable, and I'd like to continue doing, I'm going to do as much as I can on YouTube in terms of the various different contests and stuff like that. Just to have some fun, and in addition to the work I need to get done, which I do enjoy. I do love my research. I do like everything I do, but for some reason you still need that goof off time where you're just you're fiddling around. So yesterday was not really a strange day. It was. I ended up when I've been working in the new editing area where I do my films, where I do my video editing now. That's the music and electronics room. That's where I have the HD camera. Instead of working on there and continuing on with the usual work, what I did is I decided to begin rebalancing the network so I could spread the video editing out over across the desktops, so to sort of alleviate some of the video processing, the rendering and then the uploading can take up to 2 hours or more, depending on what you're trying to render. And if it significantly clogs up the work you're doing, and it can do that if it's like if you don't schedule things out right. But I basically plan to do, if something is going to take a long time to process, I know it's going to take a long time to process, I'll do the processing while I'm sleeping, and then every once in a while I'll just get up and check it. But other than that, I have it set, my network set so that the rendering does not occur and the uploading does not occur on the computer, on the desktop that I'm working at. So basically I have 3 functional areas that I work in my office. There's this area here. There's where I started in the front room with a blackboard. If you look at the sort of the first few videos of BigBangTheoryRL, you'll see there's a blackboard behind me. That's the front room. That's where I have my my library, my physical part of the library, and I also have the main servers there that handles the storage, the 3 terabytes. So that's there as well. That's where I did most of the work. Yes, I did fixing up a lot of fixing up that, because I have the server and then I have the another desktop there. So I have 2 computers in there. I actually have more than 2 computers because I have some where I do a lot of practice and coding, and then some of them are older, and I had refurbished them, but I gotta pull. I still have to do a lot of restructuring in the front room to do, an enormous amount of work to do in the front room, because that room is more than a couple years old, so a lot of stuff has to be pulled out, and everything has to be sort of cleaned up, realigned, so I can move forward with things. So I did part of that yesterday. I got the desktop and the server sort of in sync. I still have some minor work to do today on it. I'm going to be doing some cleaning. Now that things are starting to sort of chug along, I'm getting more and more of my to-do list done, and that means I have more time to do clear up the backlog and cleaning. Right now, what I'm doing is some boxes, like cereal boxes and stuff like that. If you cut them up properly, instead of spending, and I used to do this every 6 months or so. I used to spend about $5-10 on a cutting board, because the cutting board I used to buy became so gross, even when you washed it, that you had to sort of just get a new one. What I'm doing now is I'm using the cardboard. I use cardboard now as my cutting boards and the surfaces that I sort of work on to cook. And that way, every couple of days, you just throw it out and that's it. So there's no it doesn't cost you anything, because you're using old cardboard that you have around the house. Like, if you're buying cereal boxes or anything that comes in any food that comes in a large enough box can be cut up and become a cutting board. And that's sort of my, this is part of the Freegan lifestyle, is you don't buy anything extra that you don't really need. You try to look around what you have, including some of your refuse, and you reuse it. You don't. And this means that refuse means that it's not already in the garbage with everything else that's in the garbage. It's something that could be thrown out, but still has use left to it. In other words, you use something to its possible full potential. And even when I throw out the cardboard, depending on I've now set up a new system where I'm putting all my paper and cardboard, because I go up camping to a wilderness area, to a village that my Greek uncles built. That's where I have Mars Alpha to do my research for the astronomy and for the API's space program. I have a sort of Mars stands for Mars Analog Research Station. So I do my Mars research up north, just about 2-3 hours from here, from where I am now. I'm at just around Victoria Park and Steeles. For those of you who know Toronto, that's where I am. And we need, because everything's done by fire up there, we don't use electric stoves, we don't use gas stoves or anything like that. Everything's done with fire. We need starting paper. And so I'm saving all the paper that I have and that I collect over the year to bring up there to use starting paper. So that's the new thing that I'm doing now. So the new addition to dealing with my paper refuse rather than just simply tossing it out. But beyond that, back to the front room. I cleared up a lot of the mess on the desktop. I completely redid one of the desktops in terms of cleaning it out, and because what happens as the year goes on, you're learning more and more about the Linux desktop. What happens is that a lot of stuff gets clogged on your computer, and every so often you really just do have to get in there, just like you do with a physical room, and just sort of clean everything out. And that's what I did yesterday. I did a lot on the computers. I did a lot of cleaning out. Now that the computers are back working functional again, now what I have to do is I have to work on the physical office and start cleaning that out as much as possible. Just really get to the cleaning. So that's what I'll be doing today. I'll be doing more work on the institutes today. Uh, Beyond that, I went and did my. I still do it because I like to do the. I always go around and see what's going on YouTube. My channel selector is working very well. So, and for those of you who don't know this, I have it, and you're watching this. Actually, what I'm talking about strolling around YouTube with my YouTube channel selector. I have a part of my Linux desktop. I have an application on there. It's a notebook that is highly integrated into the desktop, and because it's part of Linux, it can be directly integrated into the internet, to the browser. So I created in the notebook, I just took one page or a section of it and created a YouTube channel selector. So now, one people, I was at Megan Speaks page, Megan Speaks page, and there was a whole bunch of people down below talking. She was talking about this Russian video where a building had collapsed, and she was watching what was happening, and gave her reaction to it. And I could these people below, I just call them haters. I don't really want to call them haters, because that gives them too much credit. They basically, these no minds. They really didn't really have anything to say. It was more of as they call it, a ranting rabble. That's the more appropriate term for them, ranting rabble rather than haters. Because the haters, actually, some haters will actually point out something. They can point out flaws and stuff like that may and put together a half intelligent sentence. Haters don't do that. Haters just rant and rabble, and that's because they've got nothing to say. So the more appropriate term is the ranting rabble. The ranting rabble. They were calling her all sorts of colorful terms, simply because she just did. One person pointed out, why she simply title it RE and then left it at that. Well, and the thing is, I guess if their browsers aren't properly set, all you're going to see is the title RE and then the semicolon. But that's not how she had actually titled it. She titled it and then simply repeated, because the video was from Russia. She gave it the Russian title. But some browsers can't handle a variety of different language. If your browser isn't set to be multilingual, then you can't see all the other languages out there, and it just looks blank. It fills it with a blank space. So my assumption is that whoever was writing this stuff couldn't see the Russian writing that was there. But there was Russian writing in her title, and it was and the RE means reference to. So if you understand that she was saying, my title is, this is in reference to this video that I had seen, and she gave the title of the video, and it has something to do about October. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah. And some guy said, well, how do you expect people to find you if you put it in the title RE? And just put the reference title in there. But I guess he doesn't realize, I don't know, or wasn't thinking, that if you're a subscriber to her channel or any channel like this, that you get the messages when she uploads something. Part of the subscription package is that they send you an email. But the thing is this is my problem. This is why I created the YouTube channel. Is that once you get over, you subscribe to more than like 400 channels, and that does happen if you've been around on YouTube for a bit. You subscribe to a lot of channels. What you end up with is too many email messages coming. So and so uploaded. So you only can sort of go around to channels that you really want to go to every so often, like on a daily or weekly basis, and then you have others that are sort of pack more down. You know, they're further down on the list, and you get to them occasionally. And that's what the YouTube channel selector does inside this Linux desktop note system. It behaves as a remote control that I can say, okay, I want to go to channel 1. Channel 1 for me is NerdsRL. Channel 2 is Writing Prompt for Ladies. And then both of these, 1 and 2, have subcategories in which I have related channels that are related to these channels, right? So off of NerdsRL, I have Megan Speaks, because I found Megan Speaks through Morgan Pagelove's page. And I also found Emily the Brave through Morgan Pagelove as well. I found a variety of different channels through other pages, and that's why Jen Penn is up there in this Jen, JENNXPENN. That's her page. I'll put it a little down below a bit. I've used her page, and I found a whole bunch of other pages from there. So that's the way things are categorized, is that once I start jumping off of one person's page and I start finding other pages that I like and channels that I like, other channels that I like, they get their own little subsection. So the heading will be Jen Penn, and then under her will be a whole listing of other channels that I can click around to. So if I want to be in just Jen Penn's group, I'd go to the Jen Penn, isolate the Jen Penn's group, and click around the dial there as an isolated dial, and just sort of, you know, click, 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 and flip through the channel. So it's you're surfing YouTube in the same way that you're surfing a TV channel, where you're clicking around to see what's on. So basically what you're doing is you're clicking to see who uploaded what new video, and if they didn't upload a new video, you go back into the older videos to see if there's something you haven't seen before, and then from there, if you've seen everything and they haven't posted anything new, you go to the next channel, do the same thing, you know, and you do that throughout the day as you sort of, you know, you've got nothing to do, or usually it's while I'm doing something else. I never watch TV on its own or anything on its own. I'm always doing something else. So that's how I sort of surf around. That's how I sort of see things. And this guy couldn't figure that out. Couldn't figure out how people would be getting back to Morgan Speaks page. Anyways, that's sort of the haters. That's sort of what I did yesterday. I'm still working. I still have to do a little more fixing up on my YouTube channel selector. There's always things I got to organize and reorganize. I found some new channels I want to put in there now. So I got to categorize things. I found this great musician on this. She does a lot of really good musical work. So I will do that today, in addition to the cleaning and the institute work and so on and so forth. Anyways, I am going to leave you now, and I will try to get some videos up today now that everything is in working order.